Now, I might be no Phoenix SC, but it is once again that time of the month again, even though it's not really set at a specific time in any month, where we are gonna tier enemies on a tier list based on how well of a poet they are, how good of a poetry they can write. If they are the guy in the gift or something. And this is not the first tier list video that I do, so there is no introductions needed. We're using the tier list made by VM Squared, and let's just start now. But before we get into this video, guys, join my Discord server. Okay, that's it. Enjoy the video. And the first order of business, the filth goes in the F tier. The square goes in the square hole. What a surprise. Man, screw the filth at this point. It can't even do anything. It's so useless. Next up is the stray. Alright, I'm not gonna be horsing around or goofing around. Then this tier list is gonna be an actual one where enemies all don't go in the F tier. So for a stray, I imagine it can write, but it's gonna have shitty handwriting. So it would be somewhere in the middle, like C. I'm gonna give it C because I still hate it. For a schism, I believe the same deal, but due to the whole messed up body thing, it's gonna be a little worse than the stray, so shitty handwriting and also shitty grammar as well. And Maurice cannot pick up a pen or pencil to be able to write. If it could write, it would go in the C tier, but it can't write, so it goes in the F tier. For something wicked, honestly, I don't think we do know that information. If it's something wicked can write good, but I never have any tier in my tier list where I just plain don't know, so I'm just gonna put it on the B tier. Maybe something we can write something like death, screams, pain, agony, suffering and all that, and some edgy kids are gonna like it, so yeah, that's why I'm gonna put it in the B tier. The swords machine is known to be pretty smart, so I think that when it comes to writing, it can write a couple fire quotes, but I don't think it would go in the S tier because it's a machine, so like it's not gonna be, you know, familiar or updated with the grammar of today. The grammar and vocabulary of today is gonna be studied in the future by scientists as to what the hell is going on in our heads. And the same case for the next generation too, I imagine. It's just gonna be more random and more messed up in the future. So a machine that in the universe of Ultrakill, where everybody's dead, can't really be updated. Actually, where am I going with this? I'm just gonna put it in the A tier, but screw all that I said. A Cerberus. So I don't know if the Cerberus can move its fingers or not. If a Cerberus can move its fingers, but it doesn't really show because on the image right now, it's like it's wearing mittens. Its hand is in that form where all the fingers are attached together, so I think it's gonna be writing pretty poorly, so goes in the C tier. Or maybe even D tier, yeah. A drone has no hands or has any holes to be putting a pen or pencil in, so it goes in the F tier. For a street cleaner, I imagine if you give this guy a pen, it's gonna be writing W plus M1 all over the paper. And it is only a credible poetry if it is shown to other street cleaners, so for that I'm gonna give it D. A cancerous rodent goes in the F tier. It's just a rat. A very cancerous rodent also goes in the F tier. It's just a very rat. A hideous mask cannot write in any way. I don't see how it can, so it goes in the F tier. For V2 the first, just so that somebody watching right now isn't gonna get upset by me putting this guy in the lower tier, I'm gonna really think on this. Actually, for the whole duration of the video, I'm gonna be thinking hard. So V2 the first. It's a supreme machine like V1, but we didn't rank V1, and it's so much like the sword machine, so I imagine V2 can write a couple of good things, so it goes in the A tier. I don't know who goes in the S tier honestly, because they would have to be either human or we know that they are smart. Very smart. I mean, I know that Gutterman will go in the S tier, but that's not to be talked about right now. V2 the second, I think the same. However, if V2 would be left-handed and he would just have his arm be switched to be the whiplash, it would be really unlucky for him because he has to get used to the new arm. However, if V2 is simply just right-handed, then nothing that I said would be of any value, so it goes in the A tier again. A soldier. I'm gonna assume the soldier is right-handed and his whole right arm is a gun, so now it lost the ability to write very efficiently, so it goes in the D tier. Actually, the first case in one of my tier list videos where the soldier is one tier lower than the stray. That's crazy. The stray improved over the videos, but still the filth is in the F tier. Come on, filth. man, what are you doing? A mind flayer. You think the wires that the mind flayer has can be used to hold pens or pencils? Let's just assume she can do that. Not only she has her own arms, but also she has those wires, so she can be writing multiple poetries at the same time. It's honestly quite incredible if you think about it. So I'm gonna put her in the S tier, not because she's a woman or anything, but because of the reasons that I stated, alright? Corpse of King Minos, F tier, no questions, we already know why. Now some real deal as Minos Prime I think should go in the S tier because we know that this guy is the king of Lust Layer, and I am quite certain that if we give a pen and paper to Minos Prime to write some letter to a lady, he would be quite the lady killer with writing fancy words and stuff, so it goes in the S tier for that. Flesh Prison, same thing as everything that is in the F tier. Same as its spawn. Gabriel the First, I think because the fancy language that he speaks in, because that's the way people usually speak in heaven, he goes in the S tier. He can write some good stuff. Same as the Gabriel racist mode, I think. Especially also because Gabriel racist mode is angrier than Gabriel non-racist mode. He's really gonna be writing stuff like hate, 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 let me tell you how much I've come to hate. So yeah, stuff like that. And that's fire. A virtue, I don't know how a virtue can even begin to write, so it goes in the F tier. Alright, now I still haven't quite figured out how a stalker can do most things with its really deformed and messed up body, but let's just assume it can write something, and I think that it would be pretty mid. I don't see why it would be good or too bad, so it goes somewhere like C tier or maybe B tier, because I don't want to put it next to the Stray. That would be like an insult. Sisyphean Insurrectionist, really poorly shaped hands and no head or brains, so it goes in the F tier. I don't need to say anything else. Mysterious Druid, Night and Owl. I think that because these guys are two, so two brains are thinking on the same poetry, I never considered them isolated in my tier list because that's extra work. I don't want to be doing all that, so I think it will be pretty good. It goes in the A tier, or actually S tier, because it's two brains working for one paper. Sisyphus Prime, I believe, also goes in the S tier because he does have that fancy language buff, same as Minos Prime. Flesh Panopticon, literally the same thing as Flesh Prison and its spawn. And who else do we got? We got the sentry. There's only one way I imagine a sentry can write, is that you attach the pencil to the hole of the sniper rifle that is attached to its mouth. I mean, its whole mouth yourself, and it gets the writing then, but it still needs assistance that way, so it goes in the D tier. However, I shouldn't be saying that because everybody else have been considered all on their own, so on its own the sentry is gonna be F tier. Next we got Idol, and Idol has no chance on a higher tier. Now a ferryman, as a hardcore fanboy of Minos Prime, I imagine this guy has written plenty of letters to him, and overall those letters he has gotten pretty good at it, so I think he goes in the S tier. And Leviathan cannot write for shit. Mannequins do have plenty of hands, and I think it can write pretty fast if it can write well in the first place, just because I'm not certain if a mannequin is smart enough to be writing proper things. I'm gonna put it in the A tier. It can write, and it can write good, but the question is how the quality is. The big cow is just a fucking cow, man. It can't write. And then we have the big Johninator. He's just gonna write, die, kill me, come on, I wanna die, help. It's gonna be pretty funny. Just because of the funniness, I'm gonna put it in the B tier, otherwise it would suck. A Gutterman, we already know, it goes in the S tier. There is a literal, solid, concrete evidence that this guy has written and he can write really good. So yeah, a Gutter Tank, I don't know, I think a rank lower than the Gutterman. Actually, wait, which one of its arms is a rocket? Oh, its right arm is a rocket. Oh wait, it's the same case as the Gutterman. Dang, Gutterman is left-handed? That's one interesting fact, but I don't think the same can be said for the Gutter Tank, or maybe because it's a direct counter to Gutterman, it can be said. I don't know, I'm gonna put it in the A tier because I think it will be pretty close to a Gutterman's poetry. And then who's next? Who else we got? A Puppet, just F tier, man. I don't think he can write very well. And finally we have Earth Mover. Good old Benji needs a Titanic sized pencil or paper to be able to write anything. Unless because the area he's in is just a barren wasteland, he can use his own rail cannon to kinda just write something down in the sand, or I think that's sand anyway. It can write in that way, but how well it can write, I don't know. It is a giant brain, so I think the bigger the brain, the smarter he's gonna be. So I believe if he had the tools necessary, it would be pretty good. I don't know, this whole tier list is bullcrap anyway. So there it is, guys. This tier list is based on how well each Ultrakill enemy can write poetry, or whatever the title is. Once again, I am quite certain of all my bullshittery that went on throughout the whole video, and we are just gonna move on from here. Also, can I just say it is extremely heartbreaking how the Ultra Quickie Clicker mod has become deprecated. As somebody who has 100% Quickie Clicker on Steam, admittedly with cheats, only to accelerate time at the end parts of the game, this is quite heartbreaking. So if you got this far in this video, guys, thank you so much for watching. Leave a like if you liked it, or maybe even comment or subscribe if you want to see more of these videos, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.